Yo! What's up? It's DSP and I'm back with another Hateful Truth video. As you can see, it is still the football playoff, so I'm wearing yet another one of my old Darksiders customized jerseys. Yeah, I actually made a bunch of these back in the day. That's how big my fucking ego was. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a new game today, but before we get to that, what I want to address is some issues that people had with the audio in my last Hateful Truth video for Bayonetta. I think what happened was when I edited them, the volume seemed to be a little bit on the lower side because I had some problems balancing my actual recorded lines with my actual video lines. The balance, the volume wasn't even, and it ended up being a lot lower than usual. So I apologize to all those who had problems with their speakers. I think really the people that are having problems are people with laptops, and I can sympathize because I have about an 8-year-old Dell laptop with these itsy-bitsy little speakers, and they really suck. Even when I pump them all the way up, a lot of the times when I'm on the internet, I can't hear anything, video-wise when I'm trying to stream something. So from now on, I'll try to pump up the volume so that everyone out there can actually hear what's going on. If you have any problems, let me know. But anyway, the next game we're going to talk about, as promised in the last video, actually was released the same day as Bayonetta, and so it kind of ties as being the first major release of 2010 with Bayonetta. And similar to how Bayonetta seemed to be like a beat-em-up very similar to Devil May Cry, well, this game, Darksiders, seemed to, from all the video footage, be kind of like a clone of other beat-em-ups like, say, God of War. In fact, when I first saw the video footage, I thought it looked a lot like a game that you might remember from about 1.5 to 2 years ago, Too Human. Now that game was a really overhyped game. It had been out in development for almost 10 years. Everything around it was said it was going to be this epic story of gods in a futuristic setting, fighting demons and things like that, and it was going to be epic. And that game just ended up being another generic beat-em-up that sucked. So, by that association, from everything that we've seen, Darksiders must be a generic beat-em-up. Or is it? Well, I guess that's exactly what we're going to find out. I'm DSP, this is the Hateful Truth, Darksiders. So in Darksiders, you play the the Horseman of War, whose name, incidentally, is War. And things have gone awry. Somehow someone has destroyed the 7th seal, which is basically the last key to keeping the apocalypse from coming to the world. And so somehow demons have come out of the underworld and have started to take over the earth. And War arrives on the scene not really knowing what's going on, and immediately just starts kicking ass because, again, he doesn't really understand why the demons are there. He doesn't know if the 7th seal's been destroyed or what is the deal. And right off the bat, the combat seems to be extremely similar to God of War. You have your basic, 1-2 hit combos. There's a couple special moves that you can use just like in God of War. And there's actually the B button finishers, and what I mean by that is you beat down the little enemies enough till they're weakened enough so that when you press B you can do one of those cool, automatic quick time instance kills. And the one thing that kind of does draw a direct parallel to God of War is that this game is very gory. I mean, the finishers are crazy. You'll rip limbs off of them, you'll chop their heads off, you'll stab them down the middle and rip their bodies. It's crazy, just the amount of gore in this game. It's extremely similar to a God of War. But once you get past that and you actually start playing a couple hours into the game, you realize that it's actually a little bit similar to something else, and let me explain what I mean. You don't actually just fight with one item, you actually start unlocking other abilities. So for example, you get the ability to hover when you find this ability to get wings. You get the ability to throw a glaive, which seems awfully similar to an item in another particular game. You find gloves, and the gloves give you the strength to break through walls and do things that you couldn't do before you had that amount of strength. You actually start finding health power-ups and wrath power-ups, which basically are similar to like a magic power-up in any other game. And by now you probably figure out exactly what game I'm kind of drawing a parallel to. And then it's kind of hard to not draw the parallel once you see this one. I mean, it's the hook shot. Sure, they call it the abyssal chain, but it's the hook shot. And then, as if you didn't have enough indications, you get a horse that you can ride. So let's add this all up. A glaive that's like a boomerang, gloves that give you strength, a hook shot, a horse. Where have I seen the combination of all of those before? It just seems to be at the tip of my tongue, but okay, Zelda. And the further you go, you realize, wow, this game really is like a kind of a Zelda clone. And when you get into your first of the 4 major dungeons and you see the different puzzles and the different things that are in there, you say, wow, this is almost a direct parallel of Zelda. In fact, some of this seems to be taken straight from Zelda, like kind of ripped straight from it. And you wonder, gee, I wonder if they just kind of copied the entire game of Zelda. And then as you start to play the game even more, you say, well, if they kind of ripped off Zelda, well, what else did they steal from? A portal gun? Are you kidding me? There's actually a portal gun in this game? I mean, they didn't even try to make it look different. The portals are blue and orange, just like in the game Portal. I mean, that's crazy. And don't get me wrong, there are a couple things that are different. Like, you can only shoot the portals onto certain areas of the wall or the ground. But still, I mean, it's the same concept, pretty much lifted straight from that game. So what the hell else did they take?
I'll take that. If it were to get broken, you might get ideas. Like not going back in your little cage.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Mark Hamill? They got Mark Hamill to do the voices in the game? I mean, he just got his fame back for doing the voice of the Joker in Batman Arkham Asylum. Now all of a sudden they're going to lift him to do all the voices of the villains in this game? I mean, is there anything original about this game? Sorry about that. As I was fighting, my battery ran out. So, oh my god, is he finally coming?